Well, there is definitely something odd about this. More specifically, this phrase over here. In exchange for her soul, the witch granted an 8-digit number. Like, what does this mean exactly? When spoken, a small golden land will be opened. Like, before I've been thinking about the human claim that the human culprit left this here for some reason that I'm not aware of. But it makes me question from a magical claim perspective as well, like what this means as well. If the witch is the one that put this here. I could go with the... I could go with the interpretation that we're talking about a small pocket version of the Golden Land, but other than that, I don't know.
エヴァさんはそんなことはしませんぞ。あれは事故です。
事故なもんか。あいつが父さんと母さんを殺したんだ。この島には19人目も魔女もいるわけがない。あいつが全ての犯人なんだ。ゲストハウスの1階にはあいつだけがいた。父さんと母さんを殺し、それを見てしまったジョージ兄さんも口封じに殺したに違いない。じい様や使用人の人たちだってそうさ。きっとあいつは夕べの親族会議の途中でこっそり抜け出し、みんなを殺したに違いない。
もしそうならば、警察が調べればすぐにわかることです。警察はすごいですぞ。鑑識の手にかかればわからぬことなどありません。私たちは誰かを疑ったり恨んだりする必要などないのです。すべて警察が解決してくれます。だからジェシカさんは今は体を休め、目を楽にすることに専念するのです。あまり眉間にシワを寄せては目にはもちろん美容にもよくありませんぞ。
Indeed, when Jessica had grown agitated in her verbal abuse of Eva, she had naturally started glaring, and, well, the pressure on her eyes hurt her. Jessica herself soon realized that the more she talked, the more the wound would hurt. And regardless of whether she had overcome her suspicions of Eva, she regained her composure for the time being.
あいつが殺したんだ。父さんや母さんを、シャノンやカノン君を、カノン君。
She had heard that Kano had been killed in a chapel. Jessica still hadn't seen his face after he had died. Jessica was now less fearful about the fact that she might go blind, and more frightened that the police would carry Kano's corpse away while she still couldn't see, and that she would have to say her final farewell without being able to see his face. Her anger at the culprit, and her sadness at the death of the person she had liked. And those mixed emotions provoked her tear ducts. But right now, tears were actually painful for her, so she wasn't even permitted to leisurely remember the late Kano's face. Jessica could do nothing but sit on the bed and let her head droop, withstanding the pain.
さて、今度はエヴァさんの方が心配です。気に病まれていなければいいのですが。
Letting out a small sigh of relief that Jessica had calmed down for the time being, he stuck his head out into the hallway to look for any sign of the others coming back. They met eyes. Nanjo, unable to understand who this person was bewildered for an instant. Oh, imagine Evatress going ooga booga booga as well.
視力を失った人間って 反魔法力も対魔法抵抗力もゼロになるんですって。つまり今のあんたはアイソレーテッドポーン。意味がわかるかしら。
なんですと？
There was no possible way that Nanjo could have understood who the person in front of him was. And there was certainly no possible way that he could ever have understood what she had just said.
南條先生、どうしたんです？
Unable to see, Jessica couldn't tell what was going on except by whatever voice she heard. But since she had heard Nanjo say something with an uneasy tone, she tightened up, thinking that something bad might have happened.
やめてくれ。殺さないでくれ。わしには病弱の孫がおる。ここでは死ねんのだ。頼む、見逃してくれ。
南條先生、南條先生。
Jessica couldn't do anything except call out from the bed. Judging by the tone of his voice, Nanjo was in the corridor, being confronted by someone. And he was scared. There was no doubt that at this very moment, his life was being threatened.
よせ、やめろ。
第9の晩に魔女はよみがえり、誰も生き残れはしない。
The witch pointed the end of her gold staff at Nanjo. Even though he didn't know what she was planning to do, Nanjo imagined that she must be trying to take his life.
南條先生、南條先生、そこに誰がいるんだよ。返事をしろよ。
やめてくれ。
Bang! A sharp sound echoed. And tapered to a point just as sharp. The elongated tip of the golden staff was stuck straight into Nanjo's forehead. Oh no. Jessica, who only had her ears to help her try to grasp what was happening, had no clue what was going on. But even so, she was able to realize that with that sound, Nanjo had died. And the person who had killed him was now in the corridor, right in front of the servant room. Furthermore, since she couldn't see, she wouldn't even be able to run away, much less resist. God damn it! Upon discovering that she was in a life or death situation, caught like a rat in a trap, Jessica felt her blood run cold.
ああ、ジェシカ。かわいそうにね。目を怪我しちゃったのね。なら、あなたは逃げることもできないわね。今から南條の死体でたっぷり遊ぶわ。それに飽きたら、次はあなたを殺してたっぷり遊んであげる。いいえ、せっかく目が見えないんだもの。殺してからだけじゃない。殺す前にもたっぷり遊んであげるわね。そこでしばらく震えながら待ってなさいね。南條の死体で私がどんな風に遊ぶのかをたっぷり想像しながら。
Struck with fear, Jessica let out a frail scream. She really wanted to scream in a much louder voice, trying to get someone to help her. But she couldn't. When a person is faced with true fear, it clogs up their throat. Right now, Jessica could barely even breathe.
助けて。助けて。
She searched around with her hands, trying to find some way to escape. But even though she knew this room well, just being unable to see made it look like a block room of darkness. She bumped into some shelves or something, and some tins of sweets and bottles of things fell down from them, hitting her on the head. As she was now. Even protecting her head to block them wasn't working out. Oh, Christ. She was becoming painfully aware of how very powerless humans become just by losing their sense of sight. Of course, she had no time to appreciate that. She crawled around as best as she could, trying to escape that place. But she kept bumping into things that she didn't understand, getting hit by various falling objects. It felt to her like the entire room was alive, bullying her and refusing to let her escape. Then, she heard footsteps from the presence in the hallway. And then, a voice. The person had probably peered into the room since Jessica was making so much noise.
賑やかね。レディーならおとなしくベッドに座って待っていなさい。令状にふさわしい素敵な真っ赤な死に装束を与えてやるんだから。あなたを見つけた人が失神してしまいそうになるくらいのね。
Just a short while ago, she had sworn that she would kill the culprit if she found them. However, she was now all too powerless. She couldn't do anything except let out feeble screams and crawl around on the floor, bumping her head into the bed and the legs of desks. In the corridor, as the witch thought of how to toy with Nanjo's life, a single gold butterfly secretly watched the scene from the corner of the hallway. It was Bato, who had barely escaped with her life once before. The gold butterfly softly returned to human form. Its form was faint and transparent like a lace curtain. Even just the power to hold a human form had become scarce for her. Thank Heavenly Jesus. Like maybe Bato can do something about this. And also have Jessica escape from the room in the process, hopefully. Right next to her, Renoe also appeared.
ジェシカも生き残れはしないでしょう。もとより誰も生き残れはしませんが。
あやつはカノンに恋心を寄せておった。わらわはそれをもてあそんだこともある。しかしそれは魔女として恥ずべきことであった。
愛とは異なる元素。恋心はそれ以上に純粋で尊いものでございます。なぜかお嬢様はとてもそれを嫌われますが。
お師匠様は言った。魔法とは人を幸せにするためにあるとな。わらわもかつてはそれを知っていたはずだった。そしてそれを忘れた時からわらわは魔女ではなくなっていたのだ。だからわらわはバトラーの対戦相手の資格を失っていたのだ。
まさかお嬢様、ジェシカを助けるおつもりですか。危険です。
分かっておる。どうせ助けても黄金鏡の扉が開けば魔女の宴の慰み者よ。しかしそれでもあやつの殺し方に比べれば数段慈悲深い。魔女の宴は恐るべき方法にて命を奪う。二度は奪わぬ。生死をもてあそばぬ。しかしあやつは違う。何度でも殺す。 面白半分で殺す。そこにはわずかほどの慈悲もない。わらわはせめてジェシカをそのような残酷な運命から救いたいと思う。
Couldn't agree more with that. Evatrice had her fun with the previous victims, but no way in hell is she gonna do the same with Jessica. So what's it gonna be, Battle? How are you gonna approach this, I wonder?
確かにそれを行うことは良き魔女として称えられることでしょう。しかし新しきベアトリーチェ様はすでにお嬢様のことを敵視なされています。もう一度姿を見られることがあったなら今度は逃れる術はありませんよ。
ジョージをシャノンに合わせた時、わらわはようやく魔女とはどういうものなのか、そして魔法とはどういうものなのかを、わらわは魔女だ、魔女であらねばならぬ。そしてバトラに対戦相手だと認められる。今度こそバトラに魔女だと認めさせなければならぬのだ。そのための道は長く険しいかもしれない。しかし今ここでその一歩を踏み出さねば、わらわは魔女を名乗れぬのだ。
お気持ちはわかりますが、どうやってお救いになるつもりです？今のお嬢様の身に使える魔法は多くありません。シャノンを蘇らせる時ですらジョージの力を借りたではありませんか。
うん。だからこそジェシカだけは救えるかもしれぬのだ。今あやつはカノンに助けを求めている。その思いの力を借りれば、わらわの魔力にてもう一度冥府の扉を叩けるかもしれない。
叩けはするでしょう。しかし魔力を使い切ります。新しきベアトリーチェ様にもし見つかったら本当に逃れる術はありませんよ。私はすでにお嬢様の執事ではありません。いざという時お助けすることはできませんのでご了承。
承知しておるわ。わらわはこれまで数えることもできぬほどの命をもてあそぶならば、その罪は同じ数だけの命を救うことでしかあがなえぬのかもしれん。
You gotta be kidding me. You seriously are thinking of even sacrificing yourself, aren't you? Wow.
もとよりわらわに失うものなどないわ。名も魔力も引き継ぎ、今や魔女とも認められぬただの黄金の長女。
バトラ様はどうなさるのですか？ゲームの途中です。彼はお嬢様がお戻りになるまで待つとおっしゃいました。ここで果てるようなことがあっても良いのですか？お嬢様にはバトラ様の向かいの席に戻る義務があるのですよ。
だからこそだ。わらわにしか救えぬ命があるならば、わらわはそれを救う。そして魔女と認められるぞ。わらわは魔女にならねばならぬのだ。これが試練であるならば、これまでの悪行に見合わぬ幼稚なものよ。さあ姿を消せ、ロノのかつて黄金の魔女と呼ばれた一匹の蝶の最後となるかもしれぬ魔法を見るがいい。
かしこまりました。黄金の魔女の名に恥じぬ魔法、拝見させてもらいます。願わくばそれが最後の魔法とならぬこと。
I mean, this sure won't be. This will not be her last, in my eyes. She has to continue living so that the chess games continue. To continue until either battle or battler wins. So that we fight you battle as an equal opponent. So I don't want any surprises here.
行け我が友よもしインクが足りるなら我が愚かなる生涯を記して同じ道を歩もうとする愚か者に手渡せさらばだ殿
カノくどこにいるのどこにいるの助けて助けてよお嬢様僕はいつだってお嬢様のすぐそばに控えておりますカノ君カノ君
Jessica thought that she had just heard Kanon's voice. She looked around with unseeing eyes, but of course, there was no way for her to see anything. On the contrary, that action caused her head to hit the desk again.
カノ君カノ君助けて助けてはいお嬢様僕がお助けしますカノ君生きてたの
This time, she thought that she had heard his voice clearly. Jessica jumped up in surprise, banging her head against the desk once again.
お嬢様どうか心を落ち着けてお聞きください残念ながら僕は生きてはいません僕はすでに死んでしまっていますですがあの魔女がお嬢様の危機を僕に知らせに来ましたそしてわずかの間だけお嬢様に手助けできる時間をくれましたどうか心をもっと落ち着けてそうすればお嬢様にも僕の姿が見えるようになります
Jessica obeyed those words. She chased all idle thoughts from her head and relaxed her breathing. Her heart actually felt like it was going to explode after hearing the voice of the loved one she thought was dead. She resisted that with all her strength. When she did, she could feel that Kanokun really was in front of her. Even though she wasn't able to see, somehow she was still able to sense him clearly.
僕が見えますかお嬢様はあ見えるぜ確かにカノン君が見えるよ僕は魂だけの存在ですだからお嬢様に触れることはできませんこうして言葉をかけることしかできないそれだけしかできないか弱い存在ですがそれでもお嬢様の力になれるはずです言葉だけなのカノン君に 触ることはできないの？
僕は今ろうそくの煙よりも儚い存在です。聖者であるお嬢様に触れられればたちまち書き消えてしまうほどに。だからどうか触れようとしないでください。僕もお嬢様に触れたい気持ちを抑えているのですから。それよりお嬢様、よく聞いてください。新しい黄金の魔女は残酷な心の持ち主です。必ずやお嬢様をひどい目に遭わせようとするでしょう。この部屋から逃げ出し隠れなければなりません。
どうやって？私は目が見えない。
静かに。僕がお嬢様の目になります。僕がかける言葉に従って動いてください。まずそのまま3歩這い出て、それから立ち上がってください。今お嬢様がいるのは机の下です。そのまま立てば頭をぶつけます。
机の下だったのか。わかったよ。1、2、3、立つぜ。
お上手です。次は時計で言う9時の方向を向いてください。はい、お上手です。
なんだか恥ずかしいぜ。
大丈夫ですか？傷が痛みますか？
いや、平気だぜ。次は。
Jessica thought that if this was a dream, she did not want to wake up. And if she were allowed to, she would have wanted to take off the bandage covering her eyes and see him. However, if she did that, surely Kano would vanish like frail candle smoke, just like he himself had said. She was afraid of that. So she satisfied herself with just being able to hear his voice once more, repressing her desire to see him, to hold him. So what hurt her eyes now were tears of gratitude. Tears of gratitude for the god, or else witch, who had given her this miraculous moment.
大丈夫なの？こんなに喋ってあいつに気づかれない？声を聞かれない？
隠密の結界を張っています。大きな音や声を出さなければ誰も気づきません。だから誰も僕の気配には気づけない。
なんだかわからないけど、とにかく静かにしてれば大丈夫ってことなんだな。次はどうするんだ？
そのままゆっくり10歩ほどを歩いてください。ソファーに触ります。それに沿って進んでください。ゆっくりと。落ち着いて、僕の言葉を信じて。
不思議だぜ。目が見えないってのはあんなにも怖いものだったのに、カノン君と一緒だと全然怖くないよ。
そう、それがソファーです。左になぞりながらゆっくり進んで、すぐ左にテーブルがあります。すねをぶつけないように気をつけて。
It was a very, very peculiar and magical team effort. Even though she would be killed in an instant if she was noticed by the terrible witch, there was no fear in Jessica's heart right then. She was being protected and guided by Kanon, who she had thought she would never be able to meet with again. It was probably only a momentary miracle, But even so, Jessica was deeply grateful for it. If she hoped for too much, she was sure that he would disappear. So, in order to not break this transient miracle, and in order to engrave this moment into her heart for all eternity, she slowly continued to walk, obeying Kanon's voice.
さあ、さらに10歩歩けば使用人室から出ます。そしたら9時の方向を向いてゆっくりとずっと歩いてください。右の壁に手を置き、それに沿ってずっと僕が安全な部屋までお連れします。
そこに行ったらカノン君は帰っちゃうの？
Kanon didn't answer. But even his lack of an answer was enough to let her know that was the truth.
ならやだ、行きたくないよ。
Jessica?
ここにいれば魔女に殺されます。
いいよ、殺されればカノン君のいる世界へ行けるもん。
お嬢様、どうか聞き分けてください。死者である僕には人の世は眩しくて辛すぎる。だから長くはとどまれません。だからお嬢様、僕に許された時間でお嬢様を安全な場所まで導くことをどうか。そしたら時間が尽きるまでずっとお嬢様と一緒にいますから。
それがカノン君にできる精一杯なの？
はい、その代わり1秒でも長くお嬢様のそばにいるようにします。ずっとお嬢様といてお話をします。
どんなお話？
どんなお話がいいですか？
カノン君が聞かせてくれるなら。
では、勇気のない臆病な使用人の少年の話を、太陽のように眩しいお嬢様に恋心を抱き、同じ気持ちを打ち明けられながらも臆病さに負け、ついに生あるうちに自分に素直になれなかった。
なら私もしたいよ。大好きな男の子にね。もっともっと大好きだよって勇気を振り絞れなかった臆病な女の子の話を。そしてその男の子に再会できる奇跡を神様がくださって、その勇気を振り絞る機会をもう一度与えてもらった女の子が勇気を振り絞る話を。
僕もその話を聞きたいです。だからそのためにも行きましょう。安全な場所まで。
カノン君と一緒ならいつまでだってどこまでだって歩くよ。もう目なんていらない。カノン君が踏み出せと言うなら崖の先へだって一歩を踏み出すよ。
ありがとう。さあお嬢様、参りますよ。最初の10歩。嫌だ。ジェシカって呼んでくれなきゃ。やだ。わかりました。ではジェシカ、最初の10歩を踏み出し。
カノン君。
Quietly, quietly, Jessica and Kanon snuck slowly out of the servant room. Directly around the corner, the witch could be seen cruelly looking down upon Nanja's corpse. But the witch did not even notice their presence. However, Ronoe, who was waiting at her side, met Kanon's eyes. Kanon thought, oh no, grimacing and blocking Jessica with his back. However, Ronoe did not inform his master. As though it had been his imagination that he ever spotted him in the first place, he pretended to know nothing. No, maybe he did appear to chuckle. From a finger on one of Ronoe's hands, which were joined behind his back, a single small gold butterfly appeared, flying in front of Kanon as though guiding him. It wasn't detectable by the master he served. Kanon was surprised at the magic that the butterfly held, because it was far more powerful than the stealth barrier Kanon had. He may not have known, but that power had originally been Ronoe's. An imitation of that had been given to Kanon by Kenzo, and that was what Kanon was using now. As that butterfly of stealth magic scattered the gold scales, it grew smaller bit by bit. It probably wouldn't last long, but without a doubt, even that would buy them enough time to get far away from the cruel witch.
さあ、お嬢様。その壁に沿い、ずっと歩いていきましょう。ずっと。ずっと。
カノン君と一緒ならどこまでもずっとずっと。
Led and protected by the small gold butterfly, the two were separated by the wall between life and death, slowly walked towards the end of the corridor. There was no way that the evil witch would have any magic to notice their flight. Until they had already disappeared down the other end of the corridor, the witch never noticed that Jessica had vanished. By the time the gold butterfly that Ronoe had cast out evaporated completely, Jessica had reached the parlor. Wow! Even though she would have been able to make it this far in no time if she had been able to see, as she was now, it had been a long, long adventure.
さあ、お嬢様。客間にたどり着きました。これからお嬢様を窓際のカーテンの束のところまでお連れします。その中に隠れればきっと安全です。
カーテンの中か。うまいな。私も昔よくそこに隠れたもんだぜ。
ベアトリーチェ様。
Kanon called the witch's name. Jessica looked around in surprise, but being unable to see, she obviously couldn't find the witch. Bato had appeared once again with faint form. Kanon squared off against the evil witch, but Bato's expression was soft, and actually pitying.
どういう気まぐれで僕を蘇らせてくれたのか。僕にはあなたの気持ちがわからない。
気まぐれに過ぎぬ。いや、魔女とはこうあるべきなのだ。わらわがそれを気づくのに1000年をかけた。それだけの愚かしい話だ。
誰がいるの？
お嬢様、お静かに。彼女は魔女。ベアトリーチェ。僕をお嬢様にもう一度会わせてくれた。 恩人です。
魔女ベアトリーチェ。
わらわのことなどどうでもよい。それより早くその女をカーテンの陰に隠すがよい。そなたに残された時間も長くないであろう。ジェシカと最後の語らいに費やすがいい。カーテンの束の中で密会とは、そなたらもなかなか味な真似をする。
ありがとうベアトリーチェ。カノン君に会わせてくれてありがとう。
Jessica didn't know where Beato was, so she said that while facing in the wrong direction. Perhaps because she found that funny, Beato snickered.
あとは愛し合う二人にこの部屋を譲る。邪悪なる魔女に恋話は不要でな。退出させてもらおう。
ベアトリーチェ様、ありがとうございます。
礼などいらぬ。こんなのでは償いきれぬほど悪行を重ねておることをそなたがよく知っておろうね。
良き魔女には感謝を選別とします。今までがどうであったか、そしてこれからがどうであるかは知らない。しかし今この瞬間、あなたは間違いなく良き魔女だ。
ポベッカが過ぎるぞ、カグメが。次に会うときは期待を裏切らぬ悪しき魔女であるかもしれぬぞ。それではさらばだ。
Beato left the parlor and closed the door. And mustering the last of her remaining magical power, she sealed the door. The fact that those two had escaped into here would eventually be noticed. And now that the ninth twilight had been reached, no matter how much they struggled, their inescapable fate had already been decided. Wow. Is it actually wrong to think that now I'm actually waiting for the banquet to happen? So that Jessica won't have to endlessly be killed by Evatress, that is. I mean, like it was stated before, she should not be subjected to that kind of cruel fate. However, until that final moment, they should be permitted the time to speak with each other of their love. The witch poured all of her magical power to protect their time together, so that no one would be able to defile their time alone together until the final moment. Just then, Beato perceived something. Her body had been detected by a magical searching technique. The cruel-hearted witch's furniture had sniffed this place out.
無粋なるは魔女のゆえんか。若き二人に恋を語らせる気もなしとは。